What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerd Adventures Tower. We need to talk about Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. We just got revealed to us through the Hollywood trades that Destin Daniel Cretton, the guy that directed Shang-Chi, is going to be the guy for Kang Dynasty, and there's a lot to get into here. Number one, no Russo Brothers. They're not doing Kang Dynasty, and I don't think they're going to do Secret Wars. I think that Feige has been pretty firm in this, and if you read between the tea leaves here, I actually think the press leaking out that Destin is going to do Kang Dynasty is to sort of get us past the whole Russo Brothers thing. Now, look, that's sad. I love the Russo Brothers. The Russo Brothers are incredible, and there's a level of trust there with them tackling the next couple of Avenger movies because they handled Infinity War and Endgame so damn well. But I think in some ways, like, this is Feige saying, essentially, we are moving on and we're moving forward. And I think if you look at all the different directors, films, and projects from Phase 4, Shang-Chi, definitely one of the more strong ones. I really, really like that movie, and I've come to like it even more the more I revisit it. And I think there's a specific reason that, well, probably several reasons, but one that really comes to mind for me with why Destin is a great pick for this is the tone. Because Marvel has a formula, obviously, right? But Phase 4 has sort of strayed from that formula in some ways. And yet, Shang-Chi feels very Marvel in the way it balances the serious tones, the family elements, and the drama with a lot of the comedy and the fun. I mean, you've got Awkwafina right front and center, being hilarious, making jokes, and all those different things going on. And yet, you have very serious, pensive moments with Shang-Chi. You have very serious family moments in flashbacks and also in the final fight and in the third act between those two characters. And I just got to say that final fight between Shang-Chi and his dad, and when his dad gets killed and looks at his son like that, it's incredibly emotional, and there's a real gravitas to that scene. And so I do think that Destin is a perfect pick tonally for what Kang Dynasty has to be. Kang Dynasty is essentially the first part of a two-part experience. It is going to set us up for Secret Wars. And I feel that it's going to end in a way that's kind of tragic, but then Secret Wars will be all this like bombast craziness on Battleworld, multiple versions of characters all working together to try to save the multiverse, right? But I think to get there, you need a real somber, serious, and very, like high-level action stuff for sure, but also like this sort of feeling like it's all closing in on us, right? I think this might be a version of Time Runs Out, where you're seeing Kang and the Avengers fight against Kang and other versions of the Avengers to save their particular universe within a collapsing multiverse. And Destin is great at balancing that tonally. I think he's going to bring a very serious tone to what is going on with Kang Dynasty. I also think he's probably the director that maybe was able to play within the Marvel sandbox the best. Like, again, if you look at Shang-Chi, it's probably one of the most MCU feeling Phase 4 projects, right? You take Spider-Man out of the mix, and we'll talk about John Watts in a second because I think he might do Secret Wars. But when it comes to the other projects in Phase 4, you've got a lot of serviceable stuff, and then you've got a lot of stuff that just goes way out there with regards to the formula. I would say like Eternals and Moon Knight are projects that go very far outside of the lines of Marvel. Shang-Chi feels very Marvel, and Feige might just feel that he's super comfortable working with Destin and that Destin can work within the system and it doesn't have this big ego thing, right? We heard stories that there was a lot of clashing between Chloe Zhao and Kevin Feige behind the scenes. You know, there's clashing going on with Sam Raimi, and Sam wanted all his corny stuff in Multiverse of Madness, right? But we didn't really hear stuff like that with Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. And they were already going to be having Destin work a lot over at Marvel Studios. He signed a big production deal with Disney. He's developing stuff outside of the Marvel Universe. He's developing other projects within the Marvel Universe. And so he's probably just the best actual pick for Kang Dynasty. I know some people are saying like this isn't an exciting pick, this isn't like really a great big name or something that gets you hyped up, and it's not the Russo brothers. And I agree with that. But at the end of the day, creating this film in the next 3 years as a setup to Secret Wars is a monumental task. Feige needs somebody that he can trust. Feige needs somebody that he knows he can collaborate with, that's not going to get butthurt if Feige steps in and says this, that, second, and third. And so ultimately, I watched a lot of the commentary yesterday. I absorbed my feelings and thoughts about it, and ultimately I've come to say I think he's a great pick for Kang Dynasty, and I can't wait to see that Avengers movie, and I hope more info, kind of comes out with that. Now, on the other side of this, it's like, well, who's going to do Secret Wars then? Because these two directors are going to have to work a lot in tandem, and they're both going to have to work with the brain trust over at Marvel to pull this off. This is going to be a monumental task. Secret Wars is, I think, a completely different type of film, but it has to have certain tonal connections to the characters that are established in Kang Dynasty. I kind of see it as a group of core Avengers that are established in Kang Dynasty will carry over into the craziness of Battleworld. Like within the Hickman run, there was a group of people, actually two groups, a villain group and a hero group, that make it through the collapsing of the multiverse to Battleworld. Most people on Battleworld have no recollection of their prior lives or of what the universe was before the collapse, right? But the characters that survive in those ships on the hero and the villain side, they do. And so I think that's going to be the thread that really carries over into Secret Wars. But Secret Wars could be a vastly different film. Like, if they go for that Game of Thrones motif where you have barons and dukes and swords and, a lot of that sort of high fantasy feeling, then that's a completely different design team, completely different costuming department, a completely different casting director, and just absolute madness, right? So it's going to be a totally different kind of a film. And I personally feel the best choice for that is Jon Watts. Jon Watts, who created Spider-Man No Way Home, which was an incredible celebration of film and of these different cameos, especially because I think Feige really wants to bring back Tobey and Andrew for Secret Wars. What a better way to get them back involved, to have that same director, a familiarity there. That's brilliant. And so I think that Jon Watts is probably the pick for Secret Wars. The only thing that might throw a wrench in that is the idea that Jon Watts is currently doing Star Wars stuff. He's developing the young Skeleton Crew show over for Star Wars, which is a big deal, and that's going to take a lot of time. And they need to start working on Secret Wars immediately. Now, don't get me wrong, Feige probably been working on Secret Wars, probably has a lot of stuff that whoever comes in to take this job is going to take that and then run with it and do the hard work, right? So it's not outside of the realm of possibilities that John could do all the stuff with Star Wars and then come in, hit the ground running with Secret Wars. But if there is a second pick for me, it's actually Ryan Coogler. I think Ryan Coogler is an absolute genius when it comes to directing movie and crafting story. And Wakanda Forever looks incredible. We haven't actually seen the movie, but the trailer looks incredible. And I think despite some of the controversies and the idea of recasting T'Challa and, maybe even to a degree using the death of Chad as a marketing ploy or whatever, despite all of that, the movie looks like it's just fundamentally going to be a really good film. And he would be a brilliant pick to do that. My only concern with Coogler is that I can't imagine creating Wakanda Forever was an easy process, and that man needs a break. Like, this has been a movie that's had to have a lot of rewriting, a lot of considerations, trying a lot of different things. It's had controversies with other actors, obviously trying to deal with the loss of Chad. It's probably been an emotionally draining experience. And so maybe Coogler just needs a break from the whole Marvel thing. I'm not really sure. But those are my two picks for Secret Wars, and I kind of expect that director to be announced really soon as well, because again, you've got to get going. This is 3 years away, kind of 4 years away for Secret Wars because it's the end of that year, but it does require an incredible amount of reshooting, post-production, editing, VFX work, so monumental things happening over in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's my thoughts on the director, Destin Daniel Cretton, being for Kang Dynasty, and my speculation on who will be directing Secret Wars. Let me know your thoughts about all of that in the comment section below.